Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're tuning into AMTV, Alternative Media Television. Thank you so much for sharing our content around the world. Like this video, put a comment in the description box below. Support us on demand. Start your free trial, your 14-day free trial today at $4.95 a month, price of a cup of coffee. Again, screw companies, corporatist interests like Starbucks that, by the way, support people like Hillary Clinton and donate to Hillary Clinton. Instead of buying their cheap-ass POS pieces, cups of coffee, support us. Support the real truth. Support the real media. Help us grow. Help us not just be like a thorn in the foot of the establishment. Have us be a big problem to these people. Not just like, how they first ignore you, and they kind of want to slough you off their shoulder. Help us become such a freaking problem for these people. So big. Not just us, but alternative media, this whole movement, which is what's happening now. Notice how Donald Trump is winning. Notice how these stories that we've all been reporting on are true. So I was just talking with our Facebook audience. All you have to do, price a cup, that's it. Vote with your wallet. We've been talking about this for years. People are like, you can't do that. Just like I talk about don't support the too big to fail banks, which is I'm going to talk about in a moment. Today's story, Wells Fargo scams millions of customers and gets away with it. All you have to do is vote with your wallet. Support the real causes, the real truth, the real people. That's it. It's so easy. March with your feet. It's really simple advice. Again, 14-day free trial. If you don't like it after 14 days, well, then don't continue to subscribe. But we are putting out a ton of content. We need your help. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Wells Fargo scams millions. Millions from customers. Gets away with it. Even nearly 10 years later, going on as, post 2008, 2009, man, all the anger that I've harbored for years, just seeing how they, the too big to fail banks and the Federal Reserve just raped good people and just stole trillions worth of dollars, pickpocketed people, really by the barrel of a gun. You remember George W. Bush telling us it was the end of the world. And, oh, God, we had to bail out the too big to fail billionaires. Yeah, they needed our freaking bailouts. Bullshit. They didn't need our bailouts. It was an engineered money wealth transfer from the get-go, and take it from a guy who worked for a major Wall Street bank while it occurred, who went rogue and broke off and created this, what you're tuning in today. Some of you new subscribers don't know where I come from and how this started. From a basement, from a bedroom, because I was freaking pissed. I was a broker at Merrill Lynch, and I'd studied finance, been in the financial world for actually about 10 years. That's where I got my degrees. Attended private school, George Washington University, then transferred into Arizona State, finished here locally. And I was just really upset by, people being hurt. And then also just seeing so clearly, like it was so obvious to me that these people are just flat out stealing and that it was an engineered crisis. And I could see it coming. I went to family members directly and was pretty much in tears. Really. And told them, get out of the stock market. The wheels are coming off. It's going to blow up. It's going to be bloody. Because I can't predict anything, but I have very good intuition and a sense for things. I can see things. Just even seeing the narrative of the media and how they pitch things. I don't want to say it's a talent or anything like that. And this isn't coming from a place I'm so cool, I can see these things. But we all have, various things, talents that we have, and I can see these things, right in front of me, as plain as day. And so it's been, a relatively good amount of time since then. And yes, the bankers, by the way, they all got away with it. Washington, D.C. all got away with it. The politicians all got away with it. All these people ran with your money. And things are fine too, right? Stock market's at new all-time highs. They didn't need your freaking bailouts. No, they just wanted them. Do you think the largest engineered wealth transfer in the history of the world Trillions of dollars worth of baby boomer wealth that many of you created that are tuning in, some of our new subscribers. You think that was just like an accident? Remember how we all knew for years the greatest wealth transfer is coming. It'll be, transition from generation to generation. And just same thing happened in 1929. Yes, there was excesses. Yes, we all have to take a little responsibility, right? The credit environment that they created, 0% down payments and all these things, and everyone was becoming like a paper, real estate millionaire at the drop of a hat, and there's got to be some responsibility there. But the majority of the responsibility is on the shoulders of the Federal Reserve, private criminal institution, and of course, the too big to fail banks that continue to sail off into the sunset on their yachts or drop out of a plane in their golden parachutes. People like Jamie Dimon, people like Lloyd Blankfein, Goldman Sachs. The list goes on. Even Warren Buffett. People, they don't like when I say that. Warren Buffett was pro-bailout in 2008. Remember him and buddy Obama? Just the oracle of bailouts. Hey, it's easy to be a billionaire man when you get bailed out. Owned a lot of Goldman Sachs stock. Owned a lot of Wells Fargo stock. Huh? Wells Fargo? Brings me to today's story. Wells Fargo scams millions from customers and gets away with it. Cross-selling, pushing, strong-arming customers into checking account, all their services. And Buffett, the oracle of bailouts, licking his little lollipop or whatever it is that he likes to do, loses $1.4 billion as Wells Fargo tumbles on the scandal. Wiped out from his fortune too. Well, he probably, perfect time for a new bailout. I mean, you've just had $1.4 billion wiped out in paper assets, Buffett. I'm surprised you're not promoting for a new bailout. I mean, we can't have $1.4 billion wiped off your balance sheet because the company, you're invested in is a criminal entity. We can't have that. I mean, come on. It's a double standard when it comes to you. This not capitalist system, but crony capitalist system, which, God, I don't even know if it's capitalism anymore. I mean, this is socialism here. This has been the radical transformation that makes up Barack Obama. Berkshire Hathaway, the lender's biggest shareholder, fell 2%, causing the 86-year-old's fortune to drop more than anyone else's on the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. And of course, this has been no one's going to jail. Nobody. They're going to get a public, flogging or like a spanking in public. Nobody goes to jail over this stuff, right? Who do you think, with all this strong-arming and cross-selling, and we saw it with MF Global, direct stealing from customer accounts, no one goes to jail. In fact, they just funnel money into the Barack Obama administration. People like the Wells Fargo CEO, who's going to face a Senate panel in this cross-selling scandal, as they've dubbed it, Officer John Stumpf. John Stumpf is going to testify. People always ask me, they're like, well, Christopher, these people, so they get away with it, like, what are we supposed to do? I think we should publicly shame them. Make these people so famous that they're recognized publicly, because a lot of them can kind of skate by, because people don't really know who they are. Make them so publicly famous. In fact, if we don't have a picture of them, we'll just put them up right now, and if not, we'll do it in post-production. Blow it up real big. Just see the face. See the name. John Stumpf. Build an association with it. That's how I like your memory. So, and quite literally, Stump. That's how you'll remember it. John Stumpf. And remember the face. And when you see him in a coffee shop, or, maybe he's at a hotel, or maybe just walking down the street, says he's not going to resign, just casually remind him, like, I know what you did. And then just walk away. And one of you all sees him and say, I know what you did. Something along those lines. Just make your presence known. The little people, the scum, we're all scum, right? Compared to these people, they can just get away with murder, do whatever they want, kind of like Hillary Clinton. Well, that's because they finance each other. It's all this convoluted web. Huge, huge scandal. Nobody goes to jail. This is coming from the tippy top of upper management, pressuring lower level employees, personal bankers, and these people to pressure customers and strong arm them into accounts so these people can pad their pockets. Now it's a major scandal. No one really cares. Come on, man. This will be, slid under the rug. This won't even be a story tomorrow. So what can we do? Well, the one thing we can do with SCAMS is build a memory association with them, and when you see them, say hello. Hey, Mr. Stump. I know what you did. Powerful, simple. It's just not a really big deal. You robbed America. You'll continue to be robbed unless you stand up. One of the reasons I am so vehemently anti-Hillary Rotten Clinton. I'm more anti-Hillary Clinton than I am pro-Trump. These people are evil. I do want to take some time. People ask me, Christopher, how do we support you? Will you support us on demand? I also need you to please support our sponsors. Timberline Range Camps. This is a company based out in Utah. Heidi, our contact there, they've been with us for years. Support what we do. I mean, companies like this, if we didn't have them supporting our platform, these unbelievable patriotic Americans that also have amazing businesses that are just good, God-fearing people and friends, people that I call friends, we would have never gotten this far without you and without our sponsors. Check these guys out. Go to TRC Camps, Timberline Range Camps. You can look it up on Google too. It's another easy way to find them. And sheepcamps.com. I'm not the biggest outdoorsman in the world, but it is something I enjoy doing. And I know some of you are huge, outdoors. Man, and obviously we have a huge prepping community, which is why we're always talking about these products. And yesterday, if you didn't tune in, we just got a new bug out bag in the store, which is awesome. I have to say, after, years of working with Timberline, these are some of the coolest bug out vehicles, sheep camps that I've really honestly ever seen. Amazing. And again, you can contact them, and I encourage you to give them a call too. This is not like, how most companies are, it's all the internet age, so all you have is like a contact form, and then like no one reaches out to you, or if they do have a phone number, you call them and it's like some dude from India. Hey, look, this is not like that at all. Like these people, they'll pick up their phone. Give them a call right now and let them know that you heard about their company on AMTV, that Christopher Green mentioned them today. Just give them a nice call. Their number is 435-462-5300. 435-462-5300. Let them know that you saw them on AMTV. Take a look at their products, find out a little bit more information, and also just thank them. Thank them. Say thank you for what you guys do. We saw you on AMTV, and thank you for just being the people that you are. That's it. Doesn't cost anything to do that. I'd really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Helps our staff, our crew, Timberline. And take a look at their product. Amazing. My favorite camp, and there's a couple different models. They just did a major upgrade to their website. Really pretty cool. My favorite unit, there's a couple of them. You can see your Highlander. There's an XL version, a Legacy version, then an XL of that. They kind of go different sizes. I've really personally liked the Escape It depends. And, this is like about prepping, which, I find to be, a hobby. Many of you do too. But it's also about just, recreation too, having fun. It's not like we're like always preparing for the end of the world or anything. But this escape model, which is 21 feet, I think is really cool. Great little getaway. I mentioned over the weekend, about a week or so ago, I got out of the city, could see the stars beyond the stars. And it just, every time I get out of the city, it just gives me perspective of like what really matters. It honestly helps me when I come back to do AMTV because, we're so engrossed and, the mainstream media bullshit and all this stuff and just, it takes a toll. I did a video yesterday just talking about health and wellness and, some tips, like survival tips, how to deal with stress, intense environment. And I've always found it helpful to escape, pun intended here. This unit, it's a great getaway camp, perfect for those that want the comforts of home with all the modern amenities, but a bit smaller and lighter than some of the other camps that they have. Mobile, just hitch it right back to your truck. A lot of these are equipped, I think pretty much all of them. The question to ask them, I believe it's a wood-burning stove. And again, I'm not an expert on all these camps. That's why I want you to call them because you guys might have more questions that I do. They can go over pricing, kind of these things. I know a lot of you too, like, my dream too, someday in the future, if when I'm older and in gray, grandkids and stuff too, man, I really want a motorhome. I want a sheep camp. I want to be able to kind of do that and travel a little bit, when we're not in the day-to-day, grind, fighting the media war, which is my job full-time now, try to get out on the weekends when I can, but this really isn't a motorhome. This is different. I encourage you guys to check it out. Please do, and at the very least, give them a call and just let them know that you saw them on AMTV. Christopher Green sent you. Timberline Range Camps. Find them at trccamps.com or sheepcamps.com. Ben Bernanke, Benny boy, says that it's premature to count out negative interest rates. They're raping you, America. They're robbing you. Again, another topic we talked about here on AMTV, people said was a conspiracy. Now just seeming to happen. There's another report from Yahoo we reported on a couple days ago. I got a couple emails to my inbox. People were like, hey, Christopher, how did you know? I knew these people were going to continue to rip us off, but I know, as you should, they can never raise interest rates meaningfully. They can go 25 basis points, maybe 50, who knows? I mean, they're at 25 now. They can never meaningfully raise interest rate. The whole grid goes down. The whole thing collapses. If they're not spoon shoveling you the propaganda, keeping you at the 0%, issuing more credit cards, and keeping you, all of us, I'm not saying I'm above this, but, on minimum payments. This is what they've created. This is what the criminal Federal Reserve is. It's like nothing's real anymore. But there are things that are real. That's why I preach all the time. It's something I tell myself, no debt. No debt. It's why I like things like the TRC camps and sheep camps and these kinds of things. And I like going off the grid. And there's people, many of you, I'm sure, that do a hell of a lot better job than I do, that do it, full time. And I'm always trying to learn, increase my skill set. What I can tell you, and again, just my humble opinion, this is not going to end well. I've been talking about this for years. It's one of the fundamental drivers of what we do here at AMTV. Just like these stories about Hillary's health and the perpetual, endless, infinite wars in the Middle East, and all these things that come true. This one, it's on the table now. I'm telling you guys now. Take it from a guy who can see this stuff coming. And again, I know you guys can too. It's not just me. Who knows the nitty-gritty and the inside of how these Wall Street banks operate, how they securitize their debt, create and engineer these phony derivative-based products. A multi-quadrillion, you heard me right, a quadrillion model that they just created out of thin air. When this thing implodes, it will make 2008 look like a church picnic and will pale in comparison. And it will probably be juxtaposed with war, again, as they reset the whole financial system and arguably the whole, the American way of life. I've got to go to a quick break. Thank you so much for your tremendous support. Click the links below. Check out Timberline. Thank you.